Here we go. Today, we're back on the town hall. If you didn't figure that out from the thumbnails and anything written on there, so this is what we're doing now, starting into the questions as they happened on the video. And this is question number 1. And now, as we start this, and I'll keep reiterating this because I want to be very clear that Murfreesboro Indivisible, I have no problems with how they treated me. They were fair. They communicated. These first 7 questions that we will go over were provided to me ahead of time. But you be the judge if they are indeed nonpartisan. I say no. But like I said, I have no problems with them. I was treated fairly, communicated with me, gave me the questions. So absolutely no issues with that organization. And this is something we probably need to get back to, is being able to at least talk to each other. And we'll kind of see how it goes through this town hall. It is up in its entirety here on YouTube, and then as you see these on Facebook, clips and pieces, you can go to my YouTube page at Tom Davis TN4 and see it in its entirety. But what we'll do now is I'm going to break it down into segments so you can check it out. And what I will do is I'll read the question as they gave it to me. I'm going to read what I had written down, and then you can see my response. And then we'll talk a little bit about the rest about Victoria and how she did it. And again, I want to say again here, I have offered for Victoria and her husband to attend Fighting Pistol at Tactical Response in Camden. And this was in response to her saying, one of the questions about the Second Amendment, that, I own a gun. In fact, I own 2. Okay, well, the part of the Second Amendment, well-regulated, trained, and proficient. So anyway, I have put that out for her. A little bit of discussion with her, and I've given her the class dates for the rest of the year. And as of the recording of this video, I have heard nothing back from her saying that she would attend that course. And again, it was her and her husband. I will provide the 9mm if that's what she's shooting. Or, I don't care. I'll let her run my guns in 9mm, or we can use. They have rentals up there at Tactical Response, and then the lodging up there. So that has been put out there. So let's get to it. Enough sidetracking. So the question, as it was given to me, you're both running to replace Congressman Scott Desjardins. What would you do differently if elected, and how does your approach reflect what this district needs that it's not getting today? So this was my prepared response. And like I said, I'll cut it in here. I will let you watch how I actually said it at the town hall. So I will hold town halls at least quarterly in the district. I will push towards single item legislation. I will vote no on any increases in debt ceiling or deficit spending. I will negotiate but will not compromise. For example, Congressman Desjardins voted in favor of transgender affirming care in the military and justified it with a pay raise for the military. It has no place in the military. It detracts from readiness and is potentially dangerous for individuals, and the American taxpayer should not be funding it. I will actually support our veterans with a push to pass the Major Richard Starr Act, and I will support the Tennessee walking horse industry by working to resolve our problems there and not just drop placeholder legislation. I bring leadership and a get the mission done attitude that we lack with our current representative in Congress and in general. Straight up, this is a mission for me. That's why you will not see me a whole bunch parading my family around. They are with me in it. They support me, especially my wife. But this is a mission. This is a deployment to Washington, D.C., because we've got to fix some things. So, okay, so what we'll do now is we'll take the cut here. I will let you watch mine, and then we will come back to Victoria and her stuff.
Congressman Scott Desjardins, what would you do differently if elected, and how does your approach reflect what this district needs that it is not getting today? Let's let Tom Davis answer that one first, please.
So I think I've already set myself apart by sitting in this room. And him not showing up is not uncommon. So for me, at least quarterly in the district, town halls disseminated out so if you want to attend, you can attend. I will push for single item legislation in Congress. My votes will always be no on increasing our debt ceiling and our deficit spending. I will negotiate, but I will not compromise. As an example, Congressman Scott Desjardins voted in favor of transgender affirming care in our military. Outside of any type of belief system, that has no place. It is a detractor from the military readiness, and it can be potentially dangerous for those involved. It is an elective surgery, and we, the taxpayers, should not be on the hook for it. And additionally, after they leave the service, if they are awarded compensation because of it, then we pay continually for that service. Additionally, I will support veterans within the community by pushing for the Major Richard Starr Act to be passed, which has had alleged bipartisan support, but for some reason it's not passed. Very good legislation that needs to be passed. Additionally, instead of just dropping placeholding legislation, I will look to solve the problems over in Bedford County with our Tennessee walking horses, the issues that they have going on there. And again, the main thing that I've heard throughout the district is that he's not there. So I will be present within the district. And that's the end. Thank you.
And we're back. So I will give you kind of the notes because I just went back through and watched it. I took some notes. I'll discuss those notes a little bit, and then I'll again put her bit at the end of this, and you can watch it and then tell me what you think in the comments. If where I am at as far as matching up your views, or like I said, just make the comment, do the things. If you're not subscribed, do that. I would appreciate it. Hit the likes, hit the shares, and do the comments. Whatever the platform is, that would be awesome and will greatly help the cause. So as you watch it, watch her face as I start talking. I tried to control myself. I'm sure as I go through these and do these videos that I was making some. You can tell I'm not super excited about what she is saying, but as best I could, I tried to keep it fairly neutral. I got a different impression of her, and so just kind of watch that. And if you and I didn't put it in here, but back to the initial instructions for the audience and see if they respectful, if they didn't interrupt and things of those natures. But like I said, just kind of watch that, and then let me know in the comments if I'm on target with a little bit of disrespect there, which that's fine. She can do what she wants up there. But and like I said, I did try on my end to try and keep it neutral while she was up there talking. I know I wasn't 100% successful, but that was kind of my intent as I did it. Some of that stuff, man, you can't help but react. So that was that. So she did hit the town hall. She has got the countdown, how many days it's been. I'm not tracking it that deeply, but I know Congressman Desjardins has not been too involved in the district in town halls. And again, a variety of reasons. I've hit those. Talked to us about security. Now he's apparently too busy. I mean, he can go to Texas and tool around in Texas, but he can't come here. And then she goes into the question was, what sets you apart And I kind of felt I did pretty good at exactly showing. She, goes into the feelings. It kind of struck me that, like, oh, I'm working class, and then refers to her kids as two tiny humans. I don't know her well enough if that's just kind of how she does, but I don't know. I call them my kids, whatever. That just hit me as weird. She talks about safety, affordability, and freedom. And it goes at it by not demoralizing the minorities and or dehumanizing, I believe is what she said. But I don't know. I don't necessarily see that. We do have a certain group that is showing up, and we have allowed to come into our nation that shouldn't be here. We have a process. We have ports of entry for a reason, just like I have a door on my house. And if you choose to come through my window, you are not welcome in my house. Use the port of entry. Use the door. We have laws. And she mentions in there that we should be taking care of the rest of the world. Absolutely not. That is not our job. I mean, I don't know. As I've done this, I've read through the Constitution, and I have not found in here where it says that we are responsible for the rest of the world. It's just not there. Can we be good neighbors? Can we be helpful in some things? Absolutely. But that's not a function of our government. And it goes to show, kind of the attitude and the belief system of these Democrats. And then, and just what struck me most is one of the things in here is just how she's just straight on the party line. And you can tell I have some different views on some things that diverge off a little bit. But there is nothing. And she, brings fascism into it. And I mean, I don't know. Do we even understand what fascism is? Fascism is, mandating that you must wear a mask. Fascism is, you must get this vaccine that's untested, or you can't participate. You must, give your child these things. That's fascism. So I'd be curious to see, like, what specific policies are we seeing now that, other than like, he's trying to make himself a dictator. We're talking about Donald Trump. And why didn't he just not leave office last time? So, it kind of cracks me up as we start talking about this stuff. That when they roll out these words, like, okay, give me some specifics. And that was kind of her talk. Not very, very pretty non-specific and vague. I try to stay on point and give the answers. And then the one in there, she says, we are here to serve you. Not exactly. And you'll notice, and again, I've gone through the Constitution, but there is an oath to office. And in fact, that oath goes a little something like this. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter, so help me God. And again, it says in here the qualifications. It says what Congress, in particular, in this instance, what the House of Representatives is, what their authority is in their scope. But nowhere does it say that I'm here to serve you. Now, that being said, I am responsible back to the district in how I supported and defended the Constitution. That much is absolutely. That is my responsibility back to the district. It's the same as the oath I took all those years while I was in the Army. That your oath is to the Constitution. Your duty is to defend the Constitution, all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that's the lenses we should look. In my particular case, my first look is biblical. Second is constitutional. What is what we are voting on constitutional. And now some of it, I will be voting on, not necessarily for, but we have got to get ourselves out of all this unconstitutional stuff, and it's a process. So I'm under no illusion that I'm going to go up there in my first term and get us back to constitutionality. But it's a process, and that's how it starts. Is dudes that are serious about this, and that's the mission. That's what the allegiance is to represent the district. And like I said, I'm back in the district. I am responsible to you. I report back to you in how I'm doing my job. So there is that. And then she talks about vet me, go watch the content. Which, come on, you had 3 minutes. Tell me how you're different, other than this vague, like, hey, we safety, affordability, and freedom. Okay, how are you going to do that? But that's, to me, it was like a little bit. I think I don't know. I like specifics, and I didn't feel that I got that from her. And then at the end, I don't know. It takes all kind, but Maureen out in the audience doing the oorah. Good for you. I don't know. Like I said, I understand there, and there were other service members or veterans in that audience. So we're just be open to questioning what your views are is what I would ask. So okay, So now will be my end of it. Watch what she has to say. See what you think of my take on her, and again, do the comments, do the things. I appreciate it, and and until the next one, and after you watch this one, the rest of her, keep your powder dry.
Would you like for me to repeat the question?
You can.
Okay. Okay. So this is for you, Victoria. You're both running to replace Congressman Scott DesJarlais. What would you do differently if elected, and how does your approach reflect what this district needs that it's not getting today?
I don't know if you guys mind if I stand, but I'm going to stand. So I learned an interesting fact today, and I'm going to share it with you all. Scott DesJarlais hasn't had a town hall in 2,431 days. Now, that seems a bit ridiculous, at least to me. And I have to give it to Tom. He showed up tonight. That's something that we don't have normally. So, touche. That's a big deal to show up. Scott, you're looking a little flat over there. So, while we're here, how can I differentiate myself? I'm a working class mother. I have 2 tiny humans at home. I have 6 foster kittens right now because I volunteer with my local Animal Humane Society. I have a foster mom who's there as well. She's up for adoption this weekend, so if anybody needs a kitten, please go down to Lincoln County and adopt this mama and maybe adopt a baby. Anyway, I will not do the pitch on my cats anymore. So, yeah, I have my own fur babies. I have my foster. I work full-time. I did that my entire congressional race this last time. Full-time job, 2 tiny humans, fosters, all the things. I also was the chair of Lincoln County Democrats here in Tennessee. Now, I have stepped into a different role. I am on the Tennessee State Executive Committee. So I understand that we need better representation, and that starts from the ground up. And I think that I can represent that for you all. I know that you all want, safety, affordability, and freedom. Those are easy things to attain. And they don't have to come at the expense of demonizing the minorities in our country, demonizing vulnerable people. We don't have to do that. We can do both. We can take care of our people here, and we can, take care of the rest of the world if we need to too, because that's what we've done, and that's the American dream, and that's the America that I was raised and want to see exist and not go away to fascism. So if that sounds good to you, I really do think that that's something that I can provide. I want to be here. I am here. Scott hasn't 2,431 days. That's an insane amount of time for a representative not to be here. And I want everyone here, including the Republicans listening in. Your representatives are supposed to represent you. It's no different than when you go down to your favorite coffee shop and order your latte. We are here to serve you. And the fact that we're not in the room, and he's not in the room, says everything you need to know. So in 2026, I want you to vote for change. I want you to vote for better representation. And if you need to, vet me. I have 3.5 years worth of content out there that can provide my stances and where I am, and that I'm willing to do the work and be here to represent you.
getting some